This fictional account describes a hypothetical clash between Princess Catherine and a fictional Pope Leo XIV, focusing on the role of women in the Catholic Church and the possibility of female ordination. The narrative uses reported speech to convey the conversation. Part 1. The preliminaries and the setting. It was reported that in 2027, Princess Catherine received an invitation to a private audience with Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican. Sources indicated that Pope Leo XIV, known for his progressive views and willingness to engage in open dialogue, sought Catherine's perspective on the role of women in the Church, a topic gaining significant global attention. The invitation itself was considered highly significant, acknowledging Catherine's influence and her dedication to charitable work, particularly those supporting women and children. The meeting's location, the Pope's private study within the Vatican, was noted as symbolically significant. Observers commented that the room, filled with religious artifacts and historical documents, subtly emphasized the weight of tradition and the ongoing tension between the Church's historical practices and the demands of a modern world. Part 2. The initial exchange and Catherine's position. It was reported that the meeting began cordially, with both Catherine and the Pope exchanging pleasantries. However, the underlying tension was evident. The Pope reportedly initiated the discussion by praising Catherine's work and then directly addressing the issue of women's roles within the Church. He was said to have acknowledged the historical limitations placed upon women and the ongoing debate surrounding female ordination. In response, Catherine reportedly expressed her belief, in a respectful but firm manner, that the exclusion of women from the priesthood constituted a significant injustice. She was reported to have argued that the Church's current teachings were outdated and failed to reflect the capabilities and contributions of women in modern society. She reportedly cited examples of women's leadership in various fields, highlighting their capacity for spiritual guidance and pastoral care. Her argument, it was reported, centered on the idea that excluding women from the priesthood not only limited the Church's potential, but also sent a negative message about the value and equality of women. Part 3. The Pope's counterarguments and the clash of ideologies. Pope Leo XIV reportedly responded with a measured counterargument. Sources claimed he acknowledged Catherine's concerns and the need for the Church to adapt to modern challenges. However, he reportedly emphasized the importance of upholding tradition and doctrine. He was said to have explained that the Church's understanding of the priesthood was deeply rooted in centuries of theological interpretation and historical practice. He reportedly argued that altering this fundamental aspect of the Church's structure would necessitate a thorough reevaluation of core theological doctrines and could lead to significant divisions within the Church. The Pope reportedly highlighted the opportunities for women to serve in various leadership roles within the existing structure, emphasizing the importance of their contributions in areas such as education, social work, and pastoral care. This, it was reported, set the stage for a clash of perspectives, Catherine advocating for a modern, inclusive Church, and the Pope defending the Church's historical traditions and theological doctrines. Part 4. The intensification of the debate. The conversation reportedly intensified as Catherine challenged the Pope's reliance on tradition as a justification for excluding women. She was reported to have argued that clinging to outdated practices hindered the Church's ability to address contemporary issues and connect with younger generations. She reportedly emphasized the importance of inclusivity and diversity, suggesting that a more representative Church would be better equipped to serve a diverse global population. She was reported to have pointed out the inherent contradiction of a Church advocating for social justice while simultaneously excluding women from its highest levels of leadership. The Pope reportedly countered by stressing the importance of preserving the Church's historical continuity and theological integrity. He was reported to have argued that radical changes could undermine the Church's authority and lead to fragmentation. He reportedly proposed a gradual evolution rather than a sudden, disruptive change as a more prudent approach. The core of their disagreement, it was reported, lay in their differing views on the balance between tradition and progress, and how to reconcile the Church's historical teachings with the demands of a modern world. Part 5. Exploring common ground and potential solutions. Despite their differing perspectives, it was reported that both Catherine and the Pope acknowledged the need for reform within the Catholic Church. Catherine reportedly proposed the establishment of a commission to thoroughly study the issue of female ordination, engaging theologians, historians, and women's groups globally. She reportedly suggested that the Church should actively involve women in decision-making at all levels. The Pope, while not committing to immediate change, reportedly expressed his willingness to consider Catherine's proposal. He reportedly emphasized the importance of open dialogue and ongoing reflection. He was reported to have acknowledged the Church's need to adapt to the changing world while upholding its core beliefs. He reportedly suggested that a commission could help bridge the gap between tradition and modernity, fostering a more inclusive and representative Church. Part 6. The conclusion and its implications. The meeting reportedly concluded without a definitive resolution on female ordination. However, it was reported that both Catherine and the Pope agreed to continue the dialogue. Catherine reportedly expressed her hope for a more inclusive future for the Church, while the Pope reiterated his commitment to a more just and equitable Church. The meeting, it was widely reported, generated significant media attention, sparking a global conversation about the role of women in the Catholic Church and the potential for future reforms. The fictional scenario highlighted the ongoing tension between tradition and progress within religious institutions and the potential for influential figures like Princess Catherine to initiate meaningful dialogue on critical social issues. The clash, though fictional, underscored the real-world debates surrounding gender equality and the evolving role of women in religious organizations. The hypothetical meeting was seen as leaving a lasting impact, not only on the Church's internal discussions, but also on the global conversation about women's rights and religious inclusion. The respectful yet firm exchange between Princess Catherine and Pope Leo XIV was interpreted as a powerful symbol of the ongoing struggle for progress within deeply rooted institutions.